Greetings everyone, especially to our professor in this subject, Sir Kim G. Yabut. Hello sir, I am Bridget A.M. Campoy, and I am really glad that I am be able to experience this kind of reporting, which is the online or recorded reporting. Uh, it is my first time and I am really excited to uh, share to you and introduce to you our topic. So our topic is chapter 16, and it is all about the representation of women in the arts and media. So let's begin with the introduction of content. Introduction of content. Media has always been a patriarchal field, and this has not changed in the first quarter of the 21st century. When looking at news and TV programs in any given period, it is clear that media equates women to their bodies and exploits them. Women are objectified every day without any visible efforts to reverse it. The female form has been a popular subject throughout art history, but the majority of these artworks have been created by male artists. So, in this chapter, it is all about, or we will be going to talk and tackle about how women is portrayed in the field of media and arts, as kahit nung unang panahon pa lamang is na-objectified talaga ang mga kababaihan, although media is not present by that time, but na-objectified sila by the arts or through Western art, which is pag-uusapan natin later on. Also, in the present, this 21st century, they are exposed by means of media, and the reality na it is created by men, with whether by means of directors, editors, scriptwriters, photographers, etc. Objectives. Explain the classical representation and self-perception of women in the arts. How media is creating a destructive objectification of women. State the influence of mass media in shaping the current objectification of women. Motivational exercise. Word search. Guidelines on how to play. Number 1, locate the given words in the grid horizontally, vertically, or diagonally. Number 2, find the words and circle them. So, in this activity, you will going to find given words below. You will going to find sexuality, beauty myth, self-worth, empowerment, womanhood, feminism, depression, women's scopophilia, and the male gaze. So, first topic. Women in Western art, the beginning of female objectification. The idea of women and representation started with women's role in Western art. Women became the muse or subject of various art forms. So, in this topic, we will discuss Western art, the male gaze, and some of Edward Manet's works. Women in Western art. The idea of women and representation started with women's role in Western art. While women of previous centuries did not actively play a role in the art industry as painters, they did become the muse or subject of various art forms. Although Western art may have little to do with women of today, those who are introduced into the system of Western formal education are trained to see women in this manner. So I have here two examples on how women are portrayed during Western art. So the first example is the painting of Rubens, the scene in two masterpieces, where one shows the goddess being ordered to undress by Hermes for judgment, and Paris handling a prize to Aphrodite. This myth is a perfect illustration of what nude means, as it is about putting one's body on display and being with oneself. The next example is the Judgment of Paris, also by Peter Paul Rubens. It is a scene from a Greek mythology in which Paris, the most beautiful man, is made to choose among three beautiful goddesses named Aphrodite, Hera, and Athena. So, Paris says to his servant that he cannot choose, he cannot decide among the three if they don't get naked. So the three women forced or neither volunteered to get naked. So after that, pinagmasdan at sinayasat ng mabuti ni Paris ang every inch of their sexuality, and then he ended up choosing Aphrodite. So the main point here is kahit pala nung unang panahon in favor para magustuhan ka pala ng isang tao or ng isang lalaki is to expose or show what's on your body, and having a good character, having a good moral is not enough for that man or for that person to choose you. So the next topic is about the male gaze. What is male gaze? It refers to when a heterosexual man ogles or stares at an objectified woman in a sexualized way. So according here to Laura Mulvey, a Freudian term called scopophilia means the act of looking has become a form of pleasure by objectifying women. By objectifying women, the male gaze represents women through the sexual desires of heterosexual male viewers. It depicts the female body and personality as an object for men to view, own, and conquer. This can be seen through media such as advertisement and TV shows. So, example here based on my observation is there is one girl wearing short shorts and a revealing crop top, and who is about to enter a mall, and those tricycle drivers outside, they both laughed and said that nami taan ng bulik pre, which is nakaka-disrespect, nakakabastos, nakaka-insulto for the girl. And also it connects to females idea which is a pleasure derives as it is insulting. And most of the subject by this gaze are women's. They are objectified as thought we exist without free will or sentimental thought. So the third topic is about Edouard Manet's work. Edouard Manet is a French modernist painter. Two of Edouard Manet's works present a different view. His first artwork is his Olympia. His Olympia shows a self-possessed prostitute frankly displaying her body and person. The second one is his Le Déjeuner sur el Herbe. It presents a nude woman painted candidly in her non-idealized body, sitting bored between two dressed men while presenting her sexuality without idealization. The woman depicted in Le Déjeuner sur el Herbe challenged the idealization and objectification of women's bodies by the bourgeoisie. So the uniqueness of the artwork and the painting of Edouard Manet is that the woman who is the subject inside that painting is nakaharap, naka-face siya sa kanyang viewer or kung sino man yung magvo-views of that certain artwork or painting, so that the viewer may realize or may remind, or as I applied it to myself, or as I relate, or as I imagined it to myself, the first thing that came to my mind is that what if I am that woman inside the painting? What if I am the woman inside of that painting? What should I feel if people or especially men see me naked? So that is how the greatness and the uniqueness of Edouard Manet's work, and it presents us how women are portrayed in Western art.
Women in advertisement. If women are not being made accessories to certain products, they are made targets for numerous commercials. These advertisements are designed to make one feel bad. In order to transform women into consumers of various beauty products, commercials tell women that they are grossly inadequate and need to be worthy of a man's love and support. The images of women in a two-piece bathing suit, low-cut dress, and almost naked are all designed to sell a product to men to become accessories in accompanying a certain product. Women in Film and the Film Industry. According to a report by the Center for the Study of Women in Television and Film, only 33% of speaking roles and 34% of identifiable leading characters in Hollywood films were played by women. Moreover, only 22% of leading roles in the top-grossing films of 2015 were women. A 2013 study by Annenberg School for Communication and Journalism of the University of Southern California says 31.6% of women would be portrayed as wearing sexy clothes, versus 7% of men and 31% partly nude, versus 9.4% of men and younger women were more likely to be sexualized. One important reason for this statistic is that only 5% of directors were women in 2011 and they only do romance, comedies, and documentaries. Women and sexualization. The body becomes a woman's basis of self-worth. However, when impossible, standards are determined according to the demands of profit and perhaps maintenance of patriarchal values oppressions occur. It is unjust to expect women to shape themselves according to the set standard by the media. Media has a way of defining the way a person perceives reality and oneself. Even men and boys, when exposed to the idea that a woman's fulfillment is to be desired and owned by men, would treat women accordingly. If a woman is dependent on men for her sustenance, self-worth, and meaning, thus she is viewed as an object that does not have her own dignity and worth. Men would see women as objects.
Beauty is a weapon against women. Women themselves have become instruments of their oppression when they are given the chance to create media content. Female models, designers, and editors of beauty magazines perpetuate the idea of women as objects that possess certain, often attainable, standards. The oppression of women through this valuation of looked-at-ness is an international industry that is almost impossible to avoid. The Beauty Myth by Naomi Wolf outlines the imposition of beauty in women, introduces the beauty myth or the existence of one universal beauty ideal, the standard that all women must strive to achieve. Failure to submit to these standards may cause them to lose their job, as some women are expected to dress up or put on their face or makeup for certain jobs. The emphasis placed on physical appearance has a negative impact on women because it changes with age. The fact that the beauty myth is believed to be natural and universal is a great cause for anxiety in a woman who do not possess the necessary traits. Following the dominant Western paradigm, the white person was superior and therefore made ideal by this oppression colonial system. The idea of whiteness also reflected a certain class, as those who were white were privileged enough to be either a product of intermarriage between a native and a colonizer. White Western features thus become the standard for women in a post-colonial age. These features include having a long, thin body, commonly described as weight-like, having straight hair, and being light-skinned. Empowerment is the way forward to break the monopoly of the media by companies that present sexualized, objectified women as products. Equal access to communal storytelling and image creation must be provided, and women should be equal funded in their endeavors to make movies, produce magazines, write books, and create art that speaks of their own experiences. Society should invest in works that present an image that is different from those shown through objectifying narrative and discourse, and more women should be trained in the mass media. If more women were involved creatively in the media, they would be able to present a clearer idea of their various perception of themselves. But it is also possible that they themselves will perpetuate the same image of themselves that has caused their oppression.
Summary. It is essential to create educational programs that will help men and women alike understand how media is a negative objectification of women. There should be a process of raising awareness to show individuals how values and beliefs affects how people see the world. We need a population of people who can assess the media, understand its message, and think about how this message affects how we see the world and ourselves. Guide question. It allows students to move to higher levels of thinking by providing more open-ended support that calls students' attention to key details without being prescriptive. So, the given guide questions here is number 1. How are women represented in classical and modern art forms? Number 2. What is the male gaze in arts? How is it related to Laura Mulvey's idea of looked-at-ness in narrative cinema? Number 3. The film industry is claimed to be skewed to favor men. Why? Cite possible ways of balancing the representation of women in the film and advertising industries. Number 4. What is the Bechdel-Wallace test? Number 5. How is beauty used as a weapon against women in the mass media?